Have you ever noticed that the same amount of money just doesn't go as far as it used to? Groceries cost more, rent keeps rising, gas feels expensive no matter where you live, and even if you're earning more than you did a few years ago, it still feels like you're falling behind. That feeling isn't in your head. Your money really is becoming less valuable every year, and the reason is something called inflation. Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. Imagine this. 10 years ago, you could walk into a store with $10 and leave with a full meal. Today, that same $10 might barely cover a sandwich. The money didn't change. You didn't suddenly become bad at spending. The value of money changed. That's inflation. Inflation means that over time, prices go up and the purchasing power of your money goes down. In simple terms, each dollar buys less than it used to. But here's where it gets confusing. If inflation is such a bad thing, why does it exist at all? Why doesn't the government just stop it? The answer is more complicated than most people realize. A small amount of inflation is actually considered healthy for an economy. It encourages people to spend and invest instead of hoarding cash. It helps businesses grow. And it prevents the economy from freezing up. Most governments aim for about 2% inflation per year. That sounds small, but over time it adds up in a big way. At 2% inflation, prices double roughly every 35 years. That means something that costs $10 today could cost $20 in the future, even if nothing bad happens. Now let's talk about what actually causes inflation. One major cause is increased demand. When lots of people want the same goods and services, businesses raise prices. This often happens during economic growth. Another cause is higher costs. If it costs more to produce food, transport goods, or pay workers, companies pass those costs on to customers. But one of the biggest drivers of inflation is the money supply. When more money enters the system, each individual dollar becomes slightly less valuable. Think of it like slicing a pizza. If you cut a pizza into 8 slices, each slice is big. If you cut the same pizza into 16 slices, each slice is smaller. The pizza didn't change, the slices did. Money works the same way. When more money is created, each unit represents a smaller share of the economy. Now here's the part most people don't realize. Inflation doesn't just affect prices. It quietly punishes people who hold cash. If your money is sitting in a place earning little to no interest, inflation slowly eats away at it. Let's say inflation is 3%. If your savings account earns 0.01%, you're losing purchasing power every year. Your balance might look the same, but what that money can buy is shrinking. This is why people often feel like they're doing everything right and still not getting ahead. They save, they budget, they avoid unnecessary spending. But inflation is working against them in the background. This is also why you'll often hear people say that cash is a melting ice cube. It doesn't disappear all at once, it just slowly loses value over time. Now, does this mean saving money is bad? No. Saving is still essential. Emergency funds, short-term goals, and financial stability all depend on it. The problem isn't saving. The problem is not understanding what inflation does to saved money. Once you understand inflation, your financial decisions change. You stop asking, how much money do I have? And you start asking, what will this money be worth in the future? This is why tools like high-yield savings accounts exist. They don't eliminate inflation, but they help slow the damage by earning higher interest. And for long-term goals, people often turn to investing because assets like stocks and businesses tend to grow faster than inflation over time. That doesn't mean investing is risk-free. It just means inflation is a risk too, even when you do nothing. Doing nothing with money is still a decision, and it has consequences. Inflation is the reason older generations talk about how cheap things used to be. It's the reason wages feel like they never keep up, and it's the reason understanding money matters more than ever. Once you see inflation clearly, you stop blaming yourself for everything feeling harder. You realize the system is always moving and you need to move with it. So the next time you feel like your money isn't stretching as far as it should, remember this: it's not just you, it's inflation. If this video helped you understand money a little better, make sure to like the video, leave a comment and tell me what costs have surprised you the most recently, and subscribe for more simple explanations about money, science, and technology. Your future self will thank you.